I don't know if you guys thought that was the end. I got quite a few things to say. I'm taking detailed notes. There's some things I gotta get out. I'm Dave Shermel, and I'm Cathy's youngest brother. And that's exactly right. And I want to say a few words tonight about my sister and her wonderful mate, who I think are headed for serious happiness. At the beginning, I wanted to apologize for the fact that Cathy is not going to be here for the entire rehearsal dinner. She's got to get a quick run-in and maybe a typo class. But she'll be back immediately after that, I promise. Periodically throughout this speech, by the way, I'm going to have to stop and explain some of these jokes to my brothers, who I affectionately refer to as the moron twins, Greg and Ed. If you present them with that moniker, the moron twins, they'll deny that they're twins. So just for Greg and Ed, I would explain there, Cathy exercises a lot. You guys with me? All right. Okay. Honestly, I never thought this day would come. But when I met my mother, by the way, my brother is ripping on me, and my mother in the background is saying, "Don't say that." You know, this is classic Sherman stuff. We're all maudlin and ripping each other, very good. But I never thought this day would come until I met Bobby, and when I met Bobby, I got why it worked. These are two people who are not identical in any way. They have interests in a lot of ways which are very divergent. Cathy is really a pop culture guru, and Bobby is an outdoorsman. He's a hunter. He's a guy who has an extensive gun collection. Very disparate people in some ways. Cathy's really sharp, maybe a little quick sometimes, let's say. Bobby, by contrast, is comparatively really calm and relaxed. To Cathy. Compared to Cathy. Let's say that. But that's really what hit me. That's what hit me as to why this works. What Cathy has really been waiting for her whole life is a really calm guy who's heavily armed. That makes a lot of sense to me. Okay, now I want to stop for a minute. I want to explain to Greg and Ed what was going on there. The joke was that Cathy is kind of rough and that Bobby's in for it. You guys with me so far? All right. We're moving on. On a more serious note, many of the people here tonight are Cathy's really good friends, and we're thrilled about that. It makes it special. And when I look out, like, I get honestly a little choked up because I know how much every single one of you meant to Cathy. And I know how much that enriched our lives, how strong a person she became because of that. Aristotle said that the true virtuous friendship is the highest form of human interaction. And if there's someone on this planet who is a better friend than my sister, I just haven't met that person yet. That's the reality. Cathy's made deep and lasting friendships with so many people at so many different stages of her life. And it's only right and proper that so many of those important people are here tonight. And I know it means the world to her. Now for Ed and Greg, I want to stop for a minute. And I want to explain some things. Cathy has a lot of friends, guys. Okay? And Aristotle was this Greek guy. He died a while back. I'm not sure Ed's getting this, so Stacey, if you could explain this to Ed, we'd be going the right direction. One thing I wanted to mention, I see our cousins, the Gavulas, are here, and I got to sit at their table tonight, and that was a true pleasure with them and their spouses. Cathy set such a good example for us because she had such a tight relationship from the very beginning with them. And it set such a solid foundation for us, such a tight bond of family. And it's really enriched all of our lives together in such a way that really means something that we carry, each one of us, every single day of our lives. And in that way, Cathy was really an example setter in not just that, but in so many ways. She achieved so much And despite any obstacle, Cathy achieved. And it's such a profound example for me and my brothers that I think we went further than we otherwise would have. And I think that might be one of the testaments in a real direct way that I know is just such a great compliment to Cathy, because I think we all reach beyond ourselves in some way. Ed and Greg, I want to explain something for a minute. We're related to the Gabulas. We like them. And you two turned out a hell of a lot better than anybody expected. That I'm certain of. I wanted to mention, and I've mentioned this before, but as I mentioned, I had a few things to say. Cathy is really cheap. I mean, like, unbelievably cheap. Cheap in ways people can't even imagine. She's so cheap that she's paid for this wedding by selling off her stockpile of Sweet and Low, refrigerated batteries, and condiment packets that she's been storing up for about 30 years. But as many of you may know, Cathy is also, as has been mentioned, is one of the most generous people on the face of this earth. Throughout her life, she's always been incredibly good to her family, in particular to me, and it's been something in my worst of times that I've really appreciated. Cathy has been a rock and has been more than giving. But she's generous in spirit as well, and if you look at the work she's done, she really feels some of the tragedies that she's covered in her career. And because of that, it's lent an emotionality to her work that people get. And that's why Cathy is a superstar, because she's communicated that to people.